In a city soaked by endless rain, a tiny kitten stood all alone. Every drop felt like a cold reminder of its solitude, its big, sad eyes piercing through the gloom of the dark street. Alone, shivering, and lost. It seemed like the world had forgotten this small, fragile life. The neon lights of the city blurred into silent tears, mixing with the raindrops on its trembling whiskers. Every puddle reflected a world that was moving on without it, a world of warmth and comfort it could only dream of. Driven by a desperate search for warmth, the kitten dragged its weary paws past shuttered shops. Each closed door was another rejection, another sign that it was completely on its own. It tried to hug itself with its tiny paws, a futile attempt to fight off the biting cold that seeped into its bones. The soft, cold light of a street lamp followed its every slow, painful step, like a lonely spotlight in a vast, empty theater. Hope was fading fast, and its small body was growing weaker with every moment. Then, a flicker of possibility. An old, discarded cardboard box. It wasn't much, but it was shelter. With the last of its strength, the kitten crawled inside, curling into a tight ball. Its body ached with exhaustion and hunger, and its eyes, heavy with sorrow, began to close. Was this it? Was this cold, damp box the end of its short, difficult journey? Just as it was about to surrender to the darkness, a sound pierced the relentless drumming of the rain. A voice. Soft, distant, but undeniably there. It was like a melody drifting through the storm. The kitten's tiny head lifted, its ears twitching. Could it be? Was someone out there? The sound waves, almost visible in the air, seemed to carry a promise of something other than loneliness. Hope, a feeling it had almost forgotten, began to stir in its tiny chest. It was a faint glimmer, but it was enough to make it hold on. Suddenly, a gentle hand, glowing with a warm, golden light, reached toward the box. The kitten recoiled instantly, its body tensing with fear. Every instinct screamed danger. It had learned the hard way that the world could be a cruel place. Its tail shook, a clear sign of its terror. But then, it looked up, beyond the hand, and saw a pair of kind eyes. And in that moment, fear and hope collided. A tiny spark of trust began to glow, fighting against the darkness of its past experiences. With a gentle touch, the woman wrapped the kitten in a soft, dry towel. The warmth was immediate, a shocking, wonderful sensation against its cold, wet fur. As she lifted it from the cold ground, it felt as if it were floating. Soft, glowing particles seemed to dance in the air, a magical aura surrounding this moment of rescue. It was safe. Finally, after so long, it was safe. The weight of the world seemed to lift from its tiny shoulders. The journey ended in a place straight out of a dream. A cozy room, bathed in the warm, flickering light of a fireplace. And there, waiting for it, was a small, fluffy bed. Its very own bed! The kitten had never known such comfort. It was the first time it could truly rest, without fear, without the cold nipping at its paws. It was more than just a shelter. It was a home. And then came another first. A bowl of warm milk.
The steam rose gently, carrying a scent that made its empty stomach ache with longing.
It drank greedily, its tiny eyes filled with a profound gratitude. Each sip was a taste of life, of kindness, of a future it never thought it would have. This simple meal was a feast, a celebration of survival, and the beginning of a new chapter. Slowly, cautiously, the kitten began to explore its new world. It tiptoed around the woman's home, gently touching furniture with its paw, sniffing every new scent. Each corner it turned revealed more safety, more warmth. This wasn't a temporary shelter from the storm. This was a permanent haven. It was learning, moment by moment, what it felt like to trust, to belong, to be cared for. Then came the moment that sealed it all. The woman lifted the kitten, holding it gently against her chest. It could feel the steady beat of her heart, a comforting rhythm that drowned out the memory of the rain. The kitten leaned in, closed its eyes, and let out a long, soft sigh of pure relief. That night, as it slept soundly in its soft bed, its mind drifted back. A dream flickered, showing dark silhouettes in the cold, unforgiving night of its abandonment. The past was still there, but it no longer had the power to hurt. The memory was being replaced by a new reality, one filled with love and security, and with that acceptance, the healing truly began. As the woman stroked its fur, a strange and wonderful rumbling started deep in its chest. A purr. It was a small vibration at first, but it grew stronger, radiating contentment. It felt as if its little heart was glowing, sending out tiny particles of love and happiness into the room. It was the sound of a broken spirit starting to mend. Soon, the quiet, timid creature began to transform. One day, a glowing toy ball rolled across the floor, and something inside the kitten clicked. It pounced, batted, and chased it with a joyful energy it never knew it possessed. It ran freely, its movements light and playful, no longer weighed down by fear. The room filled with bright, colorful streaks of light, marking its first real moment of pure, unadulterated play. The bond between them grew deeper every day. In a quiet, emotional moment, the woman leaned down, gently touching her forehead to the kittens. It was a silent promise, an unspoken vow of eternal love and protection. A warm, golden aura surrounded them, a testament to the powerful connection they had formed. This was more than just a rescue. It was two souls finding each other. And then, another breakthrough. The kitten, who had been silent since the moment it was found, looked up at the woman and let out a soft, tiny meow. It was its first sound in its new home, a small voice finally finding the courage to speak. The sound seemed to sparkle in the air, a magical note that filled the room with even more warmth. It was no longer the silent victim of the storm. It was a cherished member of a family. Day by day, the kitten grew stronger, bolder. It leaped onto the couch with newfound confidence, its coat shining with health, its eyes bright with mischief and happiness. The frail, shivering creature from the rainy street was gone, replaced by a vibrant, playful companion who radiated pure joy. It was a living, breathing testament to the healing power of love. They would often sit together by the window, watching the rain fall, but the storm was no longer a source of terror. From the safety of its warm home, wrapped in a loving embrace, the rain was just a gentle rhythm, a peaceful backdrop to its new life. It was a beautiful reminder of how far it had come, from being lost in the storm to being sheltered from it forever. And in that quiet moment of reflection, a single, warm tear fell from the kitten's eye. But this wasn't a tear of sadness or pain. It was a tear of pure, overwhelming joy. It was a tear of gratitude for its second chance, for the love it had found. A golden light filled the frame, a perfect, beautiful end to a story of survival and the start of a wonderful life. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the incredible bond between humans and animals.